All right, what up? Afterthoughts at 279. Go over the results, kind of my thoughts of everything, and yep. So 279. Ultimately, I didn't like the card. Didn't like it much before. Definitely didn't like it afterwards. Not just because I took some L's, both on my picks and bets. It just nothing stuck out all too great. Start with Laney's and Darian Weeks. I picked Laney's and he won, but I don't think he won. I think Weeks got screwed. I thought Laney's, the way he performed against Gabe Green, he could do better against Weeks because Weeks is not better than Green, but Weeks had to put it on him, and I think ultimately he won the fight. We look at the judges' scorecards. Oh, we're going to be probably at the top. Yeah, some of them, I guess two of them had it 9-10, 10-9, 9-10. It just, I thought Weeks did enough to win, as the announcers were saying. Laney's just really seemed to run around in that third round. He seemed like he didn't even throw a punch. It was like trying to survive. And the craziest thing is he's like one of these fighters who just like at the end was like, woo! He was screaming. Like, I won my first fight. I'm like, how the hell do you even think you won? I mean, ultimately he was right. I mean, we look at his stats. If you only land 23 significant strikes in a 3-round fight, you automatically should take the L. Just for what you did or didn't land. 10 of 46, 14 of 60. Obviously, they were throwing a lot of headshots and the other one were connecting. I just think that Weeks turned it on, had a little bit of control. He did get the one takedown out of 9 attempts. I have the thought that I think takedown attempts, they get takedowns get a lot of credit. I think takedown defenses should get an even amount or close to credit, but that's not how they do the judging. So in this sense, he shouldn't have won. Boring fight. I don't want to see Laney's fight again. Weeks, if you give him some money closer to his size and quit giving him ring to people, I'd like to see what he could develop into. Laney's, I don't watch again. I think he's trash. There was potential his last fight, not after this one. Elise Reed versus Martinez. Now, the other way around, I had Martinez, and I think she got screwed. Now, she screwed herself a little bit by putting it in the judges' hands, and the judges got it wrong. But look at the stats. Pretty close there, pretty close there. I mean, everything was really close, but if you're watching the actual pushing of the pace, Martinez, I picked her because I thought she'd be more mobile, moving around, bounce around, her kickboxing style. And Reese was really mobile. I didn't think Reese would be, Reed would be that immobile. She wasn't doing anything. She was just standing there at times, kind of like a Romero versus Izzy. I don't understand why judges don't dock somebody for that. This is a fight. You can't just wait for somebody to come to you. She had a good, solid right hand in the first round that dropped her, but Martinez's eyes never rolled back or anything. She actually kept her eyes looking at her and stood straight up and got back to it. So I think they gave a little too much credit for that. But the biggest thing is the third round. They gave her credit for these takedowns, which she didn't even initiate herself. And I don't think she did anything to warrant getting the third round from Martinez. Martinez can still continue to push the pace. Martinez made the mistake in the third round of shooting for a takedown, even though she was chewing up her leg with those kicks. She should have kept doing that. It's almost like she wanted to show that she had something more, which she doesn't. She took 5 years off from MMA to go master kickboxing. She came back as a master of kickboxing. She's still not an MMA fighter. Good thing for her, she's like 24, 25. If she wants to continue to fight, she's got to do something else. I mean, her takedown attempts were pathetic. Like, it was like she half kind of shot and tried to do this leg trip, and it was gross. I mean, it looked like two schoolgirls in a fight on the playground. When it came to that, she should have never done that. She tried to get the takedowns, and Elise Reed turned him over in transition, and she had the more advantageous spot. But she didn't do anything. There's no damage taken by Martinez. It just, I didn't like the ref's call. Didn't like the fight, really. I don't want to see either one of them fight ever again. Al Tahingili, I forgot how you say his name, and Chad Anheliger. This fight is what I thought it was going to be. This really was exactly what I thought it would be. I wish that Chad would have got put away. I'd have been a little more entertaining on the night. But they would come in scrap and just not be as powerful as his opponent, and that's really what happened. So that fight was good, given the circumstances, everything was going. Norma Dumont, I'll say it again. Hey, Darren. Against Danielle Wolf. This fight went how I thought it would go. I wondered if Dumont would go for a takedown and be able to get some. Maybe get a choke in or something. Wolf is one-dimensional. Just like Martinez, thought she was just going to come forward and jab and kind of, maybe there's a chance she put just a really hard straight through there and got Dumont, but ultimately she got dominated. She's 39 years old, a world-class boxer, whoop-de-woo. This is not boxing. She needs to go back to boxing or hang it up. The MMA is not going to happen. The interesting thing is that everybody's giving Dumont like all his praise now. Like, she should fight for the belt next, but if that's the case, then give her a better opponent. I mean, she passed the test that she's had trouble with taller fighters before. She actually lost, like I said before, I think Megan Anderson, and she lost to Macy. So she's lost to taller fighters, and that was the challenge for her here, even though this taller fighter was one-dimensional. I'd like to see her get another fight in there before she goes and fights for a championship against Nunes. But I get that if you want to throw her at Nunes because she's cycling through people and they want some new blood, cool. On top of that, anytime I can see Norma Dumont, I would love to see her. Next, Chris Barnett, Jake Collier. Now, earlier in the week, I told y'all my dogs were Danielle Wolf and Chris Barnett. I patched them together in a 4-pick parlay. It was pretty substantial with Holland's original fight and Li Jingliang versus Ferguson. Obviously, those two were dead in the water, so it just came down to Barnett and Wolf, which really kind of sucked because I would have rather separated them, and ultimately that would have been a good idea. It screwed me. I couldn't get out of those bets. So Barnett showed a lot of heart and took advantage of Collier's let's say cockiness a bit. He had already said that Barnett wasn't on his level. He headhunted. He wanted to take that or the knockout. It's just the same thing that we've seen with fights with Tuivasa. It's just, he's dangerous, and when you start chasing him down and you headhunt, like for Derek Lewis' example and some others, that they still have the power when they're swinging. All else, they have nothing else to lose and are against the fence, literally back against the wall. You're going to eat these shots. All Jake had to do was be patient, step back, and he was going to pick Barnett apart. He started trading punches. Now did he get hit with some strikes? Then he was gassed out because he was trying to strike at the same time. Barnett has faster hands. It was just an automatic mix for things not to go right, and that's what happened. So Jake's kind of known for this by blowing some fights. Bad on him. He blew it. Awesome for Chris. Happy for him. Hopefully he'll get another good opponent for him to kind of prove himself. Seems like a really awesome, fun guy. Plus, we know kind of what he was facing with the tragedy in his life. So it's always good to see. Happy for Chris. I'm happy to take the L on this one. I should have rode with him anyway. And I kind of second-guessed myself. Jamie Pickett and Tululin. This fight kind of was what I thought it was, just a little more extreme. I thought Jamie Pickett was going to sit back and pick at Dennis. That's what he did. Unfortunately, when he picked at him, no pun intended, he did it very softly. His jabs were weak. I mean, Tululin was taking them and literally still walking forward. It was just, this guy just looks like somebody who's in shape and can go 3 rounds, but he's not going to win the fights. I would be surprised if Jamie Pickett gets cut from the UFC. At this point, I would cut him. I think we've seen the ceiling. He's boring. The fight sucked. Tululan, I mean, made it a little exciting at the end, especially when he just dumped it on him after that second nut shot claim, which the second one was definitely a nut shot, but whatever, it triggered him and he went balls to the wall again, no pun intended, and he got the finish there. Anthony and Jelton Almeida, everybody and their mom knew this was going to be what it was. I don't think I've seen a single person pick against Almeida unless you're just a gambler. Otherwise, stop picking because you're crazy. If Anthony got somebody else and I was just a bit of a heads up, I'd like to see what he can do in another fight. I think he's really talented. We didn't get to see any of that proven, obviously, because he got completely dominated, kind of like the Hamzat fight we'll get to. But Almeida's a freak. Guy needs a ranked opponent next. That's probably the most exciting fight of the night, and that's not saying much. Julian Erosa versus Hakeem Dawodu. Julian Erosa, I picked Dawodu early in the week, and again, kind of got locked in some of those bets, and I guess kind of for the sake of trying to will my bets to come to fruition, because I couldn't get out of them, especially after I saw his weigh-in. I picked Hakeem. I probably shouldn't have, and that's bad on me. I probably should have said Erosa just for y'all's sake. I hope y'all didn't bet on Dawodu because I picked him to win. But Erosa just continued his hot streak. He was the aggressor, pushed forward even through some of those leg kicks that Dawodu was having success with. But I didn't like the way Dawodu looked when he weighed in. He was 3 or 4 pounds overweight. He looked really depleted, almost off balance when he's on the scale. His hands were clenched fists and they were kind of shaking. He looked terrible. He looked the worst at all the weigh-ins. I should have rode with Erosa, so that's my fault. From there, Johnny Walker, Cutabella. That's a 50-50. I'm not mad about this one. Cutabella, as the week went on further, I really started to lean Walker, but I was just sticking with what I originally thought. Cutabella in his last fight gassed out. Everything looked good. We know what he does. He's aggressive from the get-go. I thought the longer the fight went, I could see Johnny Walker maybe getting a head kick or really just some powerful shots in as Cutabella got tired. But I thought Cutabella would test Walker's chin early on. It really didn't. I think he tried to just take him down, and ultimately Walker got in the choke. So good for him. We'll see if he can string 2 wins together back-to-back. Apparently, the Chargers are playing. I'm just watching again. He says that the THC and things are drugging him for years. It took him 3 years to realize that he shouldn't take stuff anymore. So we'll see if that does anything for him. Next, Macy and Aldana. I was big on Macy all week. That ended up being my 2 dogs were Johan and Macy. And I stick by this Macy. I thought she was winning. She was winning the fight. If you look at the scorecards for these, it's in the order here. Next, they had Aldana. So yeah, 10-9 the second round. So they had it 1 round to 1 round. I thought Macy was really starting to put it on. She looked good. Some freak stuff. She should continue just to keep kicking Aldana rather than even stepping back and giving her a chance to get up. Her legs aren't long enough to land an up kick to the face, and that's usually what you're worried about with those up kicks. Unfortunately, she stepped back and she took the most freakish, not even an up kick. She kind of just dug her heel into Macy. It looked like she broke her rib. But ultimately, it ended up being, I think, a liver shot, which is really disappointing because usually with a liver shot, it's about 5 seconds of pain. People drop. They try to hold on and cover up and take some ground and pound and then recover. Macy, she hit the ground so hard and you thought she was having a heart attack. So Aldana didn't even try to get up and attack her. The ref kind of was like, what is going on? So they just TKO. I mean, if she really would just fell backwards, collapsed a little bit, but showed some sort of life, signs of life, Aldana would have rushed over there. By then, she maybe would have ate 2 shots. She could have fought back. So not really a sign of heart in that. I know it's a liver shot, and I've never been hit in the liver, but I can just tell you, looking at the experience or the evidence that we have of other people get hit in the liver shots, I've never seen somebody just completely drop like that and nobody even try to hit them or anything. It was really weird. She had what it took to win the fight, and that's what I thought, and turns out I was right. So she should have won it. She's going to kind of look in the mirror and hate herself for that one. But on to the next. Danielle Rodriguez versus the Leech. I thought this fight was going to suck. And for the most part, I was right. I thought Leech was going to get screwed, and for the most part, I was right. Leech got screwed. This is another one the refs had wrong. Leech won. The reason I was huge on the Leech when it was against Tony Ferguson, as I was Kevin Holland versus Rodriguez, I would have made some serious money there. Especially I had Leech tied up in a 6-pick. I had it with Gone, Whitaker, and 3 future picks next month for a huge 6-pick. I gave you that 6-pick a couple weeks ago. I told you to put 20 on it. I put way more than 20. I was feeling really good about Leech. When this matchup happened last minute, I just assumed Daniel would be a little more technical with his boxing, as he is an actual boxer, and I just didn't see if Leech being able. I didn't think Leech would throw enough kicks, and I was wrong. So Leech threw a lot of kicks, landed 30 of 38 kicks to the legs, and he should have won because of that. Rodriguez winning is crazy. Let's see what scorecards. I don't think it was too atrocious. I'm sure like some of these I'll show you were. But aside from that, yeah, 10. They had 2 to 1. I don't know. I was genuinely surprised when they said Daniel Rodriguez's name. Leech got screwed. I'd like to see him get another opponent. He didn't take any damage. I mean, he could fight tomorrow. So I'm starting to grow really fond of Leech. I want to see him have a better opponent and have a good chance at winning, and not this stuff that was thrown together. That fight just been scratched. It was weak. Kevin Holland versus Chimaev. I love Holland. I'm a big fan of his. Can't stand Chimaev, and I think it was super weak, and I can't stand him for more now, is the fact that all this talk about I'm going to smash you, I'm going to kill you, and all this stuff, and then he comes out and he just goes straight to the ground. And not only did he go straight to the ground, but Kevin was trying to touch gloves and he shot him. And maybe that's bad on Kevin's fault for trying to be a sportsman, and Chimaev's not. But all that talk about smashing people and killing people, and you went straight to the ground to dominate. You knew that you could out-wrestle Kevin. If you really have this hatred and you're this crazy guy, why not at least try to trade some punches with him? I just thought it was weak. So, again, all that gangster talk and stuff, I just don't like it. I don't like the guy. I would have liked to see him strike with Kevin. I get it. I'll sit there and strike with Kevin if you think Kevin's going to knock you out. But, dude, the way you're talking is like you're going to walk through Kevin Holland. You grabbed him and you get a Darce choke. Congratulations. Whoopie doodle. Kevin got the bag, took a short notice, so good for him. I would like to see that against Nate. The only thing I think we benefited out of this card by the 3 changes was the main event, because this fight sucked. This fight sucked. They would have been way better in their other matchups. You would have got way more action out of these 2 versus each other and these 2 versus each other. But Nate and Tony is what I thought it was. I thought Tony would be a little more explosive. And to be honest, looking at Tony, at times I've thought, hey man, Tony's taller than I give him credit for. He's 5'11" according to this, and Nate's 6 foot. Nate looked a little more like 6'1" in this fight. Used his length well, but Tony was in and out. Tony was winning the fight. And now this is where the atrocious cards come in from the judges, because we look at it, and the judges had 2 judges had Nate winning 10-9 all 3 rounds. They must have been in Nate's stash, because there's no way that's true. That was because of Nate's going away party. I even responded. I sent a message to one of my followers on Instagram. I forget what profile it was, so my apologies. But I told you that Tony was winning, and Tony was gonna get screwed by the judges if it went to the judges anyway. And obviously, I was right, because to have it 3-0 is absolutely insane. Tony absolutely won round 2. I don't think he was losing round 3. I'm not sure why he shot, and I never thought I'd see Tony tap, especially when Tony's not tapping when his arms are getting broken, but he taps for a choke. It was almost like, here, let Nate have it. I mean, I'm not fully saying that, but maybe that's part of it. But cool. I wanted to see his fight a year ago and let them both ride off the sunset together. Nate obviously has more left, because the dude only fights once every 16 months. As much as he likes to tell you, I've been in the UFC the longest. Kevin Holland's taken 10 fights since the beginning of 2020. Nate's taken like 2. So Tony is taking way too many fights and way too much abuse. I'd like to see Tony hang it up. This is how it ends with Nate Diaz. It's not going to get any easier at 170. You're going to get beat down. If you fought somebody like Kevin Holland or the Leech, he was going to sleep. So Tony, please hang it up. Nate, go do what you're going to do. The thing is, he sits there and says that, like, I'm going to do what Conor couldn't do. Conor's fighting Floyd Mayweather. They're going to go fight Jake Paul. It's not the same thing. He'll probably be back on a one-fight deal at some point to fight Conor. I don't even want to see it. You can just hang it up and go on about your way. But ultimately, I didn't like the card at the beginning. I definitely didn't like it afterwards. Having a worse performance picking picks. Some of them that I should have known better, and some of them I stand by it. Like I said, step out of the Macy and some other ones. But good on you if you had a better day and me, not that hard. There were 7 dogs. The best I've seen so far and Instagram was somebody with 3 losses on the pick. So hopefully you won some money. Let me know if you hit any bets or how you thought the card went, if you liked it. I am looking super looking forward to 280, even though they've already removed one fight that I wanted to bet on. But I told y'all that. And then next week's card, I've kind of looked at it, and there's only 4 fights on there probably that I'm really solid and betting on. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, 279 is over. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think. If you want any bets, anything like that, feel free to interact. Other than that, I'll see y'all next time.